You're listening to Uranium Spotlight on Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Brought to you by Purepoint Uranium Group, your exploration partner in the most prolific areas of Canada's Athabasca Basin. With a collaborative investment model on district-scale projects and validation from industry leaders Cameco, Orano, and ISO Energy, Purepoint is investing in Canada's uranium future. And now your host, Chris Frostad.
This week on Uranium Spotlight, U.S. tariff threats cause tension in the uranium supply chain. More news on a global nuclear revival, and Purepoint advances yet another project. In November, uranium markets experienced a shift in activity patterns. After a slow start, spot market activity gained momentum in the latter half of the month, with 49 transactions recorded. These included 47 deals for U308, one for UF6, and one for conversion services. In total, 4.6 million pounds U308 equivalent changed hands. Of these, 4.4 million pounds were for prompt delivery within 0 to 3 months, while only 2 transactions extended into the 7 to 12-month delivery period. Last week, spot trading stayed active with 12 reported deals. Prices began the week at $77 per pound and varied by delivery location. For example, Coverdine deliveries commanded a 50-cent premium early in the week, peaking at $77.75 on Friday. Prices for Cameco and Orano deliveries dipped midweek to $76.80 before recovering to $77.25 per week's end. Thanksgiving brought a pause in U.S. market activity, but interest resumed Friday with 3 additional transactions. The market remains watchful of Russian uranium exports. 10X's export challenges and the movement of ARRC's Atlantic Action 2 ship, currently en route to Baltimore, have raised questions about supply chain impacts across uranium, conversion, and enrichment sectors. Meanwhile, term market activity stayed subdued. A U.S. utility is reviewing offers for up to 200,000 pounds annually starting in 2029, while another utility is seeking small quantities for 2026 delivery. Canada's uranium industry is bracing for potential turbulence amid concerns that the United States might impose a 25% tariff on Canadian exports, a move that would have far-reaching implications for uranium miners and the global uranium market. President-elect Donald Trump has previously expressed intentions to levy such tariffs on all Canadian exports, and while no specific measures targeting uranium have been announced, the possibility looms large. Major players like Cameco Corp., one of the world's largest uranium producers, and NextGen Energy, a leading developer, have signaled their intent to push back against any tariffs. These companies are highlighting uranium's strategic importance to the United States, especially amid an ongoing global supply crunch. This situation has been exacerbated by Russia's decision to restrict uranium exports, leaving the U.S. scrambling for alternative sources to meet its needs. Travis McPherson, Chief Commercial Officer of NextGen Energy, captured the gravity of the situation, stating, given the dire need of U.S. nuclear reactors for uranium, fueling nearly 20% of their power demand, and their heavy reliance on imports, Canada is in a strong position to leverage this reality in any potential negotiations. He further emphasized that uranium is one of the few indispensable goods that the U.S. cannot produce in sufficient quantities domestically, adding this potential tariff on Canada highlights the necessity for the U.S. to secure essential imports, particularly those critical to its energy infrastructure. The numbers speak volumes. The U.S. produces a mere 0.1% to 0.2% of the uranium required to fuel its fleet of nuclear reactors, which collectively account for approximately 20% of the nation's electricity generation. This heavy dependence on imports, combined with the threat of tariffs, risks further tightening an already constrained market. Experts, including John Campanella, CEO of Sprott Asset Management, warn that Trump's broader policies, tariffs included, could significantly drive up uranium prices, adding another layer of volatility to the market. Cameco has underscored the critical nature of open trade between U.S. and Canada for nuclear goods and services. In a statement to Reuters, the company stressed the importance of ensuring a stable and secure uranium supply to meet the U.S.'s energy needs. Speaking about Russian export restrictions, Cameco remarked, the announcement from Russia underscores what we've been saying for some time. The cumulative risks of the supply of nuclear fuel are significant. To break the dependence on Russia and other state-owned enterprises, coordinated Western responses are essential, enabling a secure, industry-led, and government-supported fuel supply. In addition to mining uranium, Canadian companies like Cameco have increasingly expanded their role across the nuclear fuel cycle. A notable example is Cameco's partnership with Brookfield Asset Management to acquire Westinghouse's nuclear fuel cycle business. This acquisition includes a significant uranium conversion facility in England, which could soon resume operations to address the supply disruptions caused by Russia's export restrictions. The stakes are high. Canadian uranium is indispensable not only for the U.S. reactor fleet, the largest in the world, but also for the broader global energy transition. However, with the specter of tariffs looming, the path forward for Canadian miners is fraught with uncertainty. One thing remains clear: supply constraints, geopolitical tensions, and shifting trade policies will continue to shape the uranium market for years to come, with significant implications for prices and investments in the sector. Investors in uranium equities should closely monitor these developments. The interplay of policy decisions, global supply dynamics, and strategic trade relationships will undoubtedly create opportunities and risks within the rapidly evolving market. In recent episodes, we've discussed the growing global trend of lifting nuclear energy bans, as countries increasingly recognize nuclear power as a safe and reliable source of clean baseload energy. This shift reflects a significant realignment in energy policy worldwide, and it carries critical implications for uranium demand and market dynamics. The latest country to join this trend is Serbia. Last week, Serbia's parliament voted to repeal the nation's moratorium on nuclear energy, amending its law on energy to initiate a nuclear energy development program. This decision marks a pivotal moment for Serbia, aligning it with other nations reconsidering nuclear power, including Switzerland and Italy, which have also either lifted bans or are actively exploring the possibility. Australia and Germany remain prominent holdouts, with nuclear bans still in place. However, both countries have featured political opposition movements advocating for a return to nuclear power. In Australia, Peter Dutton, leader of the opposition Liberal Party, has made a strong case for embracing nuclear energy. Meanwhile, in Germany, a number of influential figures within the opposition Christian Democratic Union, or CDU, have suggested that nuclear power warrants re-evaluation, even as the party's leadership views the issue as resolved. With German federal elections scheduled for February, many believe the CDU stands a strong chance of success, potentially reopening the nuclear debate. Public opinion is also shifting in key regions. A recent Italian poll revealed that 48% of respondents support the construction of nuclear reactors, compared to 24% opposed and 28% undecided. This signals growing acceptance of nuclear power among populations once resident to the idea. Serbia's move highlights a broader trend. As more countries commit to developing nuclear power, the question becomes, where will the uranium to fuel these reactors come from? This looming supply challenge has profound implications for the uranium market. Australia possesses the world's largest untapped uranium reserves, yet mining remains a contentious issue, with outright bans in most states. Despite its potential, the domestic political landscape poses significant barriers to unlocking these reserves. Serbia, given its close ties with Russia, might consider sourcing uranium from its ally. However, Serbia's aspirations for EU membership complicate this relationship. Aligning its energy policies with EU standards may deter Serbia from deepening ties with Russia in the energy sector, particularly as geopolitical tensions persist. Kazakhstan, the world's leading uranium producer, is yet another potential supplier. However, much of Kazakhstan's uranium is already locked up into long-term agreements with Russia and China, limiting its availability to new markets. Canada, a key producer with substantial capacity, faces its own challenges. Ramping up production to meet both current and anticipated demand will require significant investment and time, particularly given the lengthy permitting and development timelines for new mines, which can exceed 15 years. For investors in uranium equities, this dynamic underscores a pressing reality. Governments and corporations need to act now to increase uranium production capacity. Delays in addressing these supply constraints could create a substantial roadblock as demand accelerates, especially with more nations endorsing nuclear energy as a cornerstone of their clean energy strategies. The implications for uranium prices and equities are clear. Tightening supply and rising demand are likely to create a favorable environment for well-positioned uranium producers and explorers. Purepoint Uranium has identified 8 high-priority targets at its 100% owned Russell South project, located in the southeastern edge of Saskatchewan's Athabasca Basin. This marks a significant step in the company's strategy of applying advanced geophysical techniques to refine its exploration focus and maximize efficiency. The new targets emerged from two cutting-edge airborne geophysical surveys. A VTEM Plus survey provided high-detail electromagnetic mapping, while a mobile MT survey offered deep penetrating data, both crucial to pinpointing zones with potential uranium mineralization. These results revealed conductive areas likely linked to hydrothermal alteration and clay deposits, as well as structural features known to host uranium. The Russell South project sits in a prime location near the edge of the Athabasca Sandstone Formation, just 20 kilometers from the historic Key Lake mine, which produced over 200 million pounds of uranium. With neighboring projects like Sky Harbor's Moore Lake and Rio Tinto's Russell Lake, Purepoint's position in this high-potential district is strategic. To further define its drill targets, Purepoint has planned an additional airborne magnetic survey for the spring of 2025. This will enhance our understanding of the project's structural features and ensure the most prospective zones are prioritized for exploration. And that wraps up your Uranium Spotlight coverage for this week. For more news and events from the world of uranium, please tune in next week to Uranium Spotlight.
You've been listening to Uranium Spotlight, your weekly podcast dedicated to delivering the latest news and events shaping the uranium fuel market and its critical role in the global energy landscape. Brought to you by Purepoint Uranium Group. Purepoint actively operates a portfolio of advanced uranium projects in the world's richest uranium district and has established partnerships with industry leaders. While our passion for this subject is undeniable, it's essential to clarify that the information presented here is not investment advice. Instead, our goal is to offer an unbiased and comprehensive review of recent events that could impact uranium prices. Join us again next Tuesday for Uranium Spotlight.